Hi Amy, it's September 5th. I was going to make a video about like Rosh Hashanah because that's what I'm doing right now because Jews. But you asked, so I'm doing a video about my Chinese stuff as quickly as possible because I only have 3 minutes and 30 seconds, whatever. So anyway, let's start with year number 1. My first year I used the Discovering Chinese Volume 1 workbook in my first semester and the Volume 2 workbook in my second semester. We actually didn't use the workbooks that much. There was the workbook and the textbook, but I didn't get to keep the textbook. I did get a bunch of handouts that were basically all the pages from the textbook. And we didn't really use the workbooks that much. We just used them for like the flashcards in the back. If I can find any unused ones, I'll show you. Yeah, so like flashcards in the back we had to fill out. And yeah, so the point was to learn the characters, obviously, and the tones. That is what Chinese is. But these are all of the papers from my first year. We kept basically everything because it was all pretty useful. It's tests, but most of this is just worksheets from the year. Just, you know, like, oh, I wish you could see this. Ugh, heavy. Like repeating a character over and over, or I don't know, here's like they give us text and then we just like read it and try to understand what it's saying, etc. And then in addition to everything in that book series, my teacher would sometimes pull us aside and we'd just like talk about different concepts or words, which we put in composition notebooks. I'm not going to show you that. And like, you know, here's stuff a bit like cultural information about China. And then we would have like, we were supposed to just write characters over and over, so we would memorize how to write them. So like I had pages like this, with like characters and their meanings. Like sh is yes and to be. Or like, you're supposed to fill whole pages. I didn't really do it. I think that's the only time I actually filled a whole page. And that's some math stuff that's unimportant. And that was year 1. And then my second year, I had another book. It was the same series, Discovering Chinese Volume 3 workbook. But since it was a independent study rather than in a class, I actually never did the work. I did like 1 or 2 chapters, like this one. You can see that I wrote on it, but other than that, I really didn't do it. So I dropped out 4th quarter, which I'm not supposed to do, but I did because I knew I wasn't going to pass, even though it was pass-fail, because I wanted to learn the language and not get a good grade. So I didn't do well, because I can't work on my own. I'm out of time. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.